Hello, magical one. How are you? I am recording this for you because I wanted to share a little bit more about The Calling, which is my new 12-month one-to-one. I keep wanting to say soul mentoring journey. So I'm going to say that as the words that are coming to help soul-led spiritual entrepreneurs, magical beings step more fully into the leader, the visionary, the way shower you are here to be, so that you can grow a really vibrant community of your most soul aligned people. How many times have I said soul already? You get the vibe. And really create the flourishing, abundant business that you are meant to have and have the impact that you're meant to have. Something that kind of gets my goat is that there are so many magical beings like you out there. Like, I'm surrounded by so many in the unbound writing community in particular. And we see all of these other people, especially in the online space, celebrating big wins financially, in terms of numbers in their businesses. And it can feel really frustrating to know you are here to do big things in the world. Like, you are doing amazing work in the world, really powerful work when you are working with your clients, whether that is one-to-one or in groups, but you're struggling to gain momentum in your business. That frustrates me. And I was in that position for a long time. So I wanted to create something to help and to hold space for you to really step into the the business that you are here to do, the leader that you are here to be. So let me start with a story to set the scene. And I want to take you back to a Monday in July 2017. Now, by that point, I had been in business since 2010, so like just over 7 years. And I had really been in that, I know it's a bit of a cliche, like feast and famine, more famine than feast, to be honest. Like, my business was doing okay, but not great at all. And it didn't feel solid. So this Monday, July 2017, my sister was heading to the beach down at Sandbanks in Dorset, not far from where we live, with her gorgeous new cockapoo, Marnie, who was only like a few months old at that point. And I thought, fuck it, I'm going to go to the beach as well. It's one of the reasons why I left my job in corporate back at the end of 2009 was to have more freedom and flexibility. And I had that, but I wasn't experiencing like the financial flow that I wanted. But on the beach, having the most gorgeous time. It was a gorgeous day, lovely sandy beach. And all of a sudden, I started to get notifications on my phone. And I was like, what's going on? There were loads of new people wanting to join my free Facebook community. I think it was called like Unbound Living with Nicola Humber, and lots of new people signing up for my email list. And I was like, what is going on here? How is this happening? I couldn't figure it out because it certainly wasn't normal. I usually had a trickle of people wanting to join the Facebook community. It was an engaged community, but it was very small. And all of a sudden it was really growing. And to have kind of a rush of new people joining my email list again, it was like, what has caused this? And what I realized is an article I'd written and submitted to an online magazine, which, not the consumer magazine, which, like, which as in stir in her cauldron. I'd written this article called Seven Signs You're an Unbound Woman. Hadn't thought much about it, submitted it, didn't even know if they were going to publish it, and it had been published. And it'd gone semi-viral. It was like, what? It was obviously really resonating because at the end of that article, I invited people to download my free Meeting Your Unbound Self meditation, and they were all signing up for that. There was also an invitation to join my Facebook group. So people who were coming across into the Facebook group. And what happened, because that article resonated so deeply, like I doubled my email list within about a week or something. It was relatively small at the time. I think it was about 350 people, and it was doubled up to 700 just from that one article. I attracted two brand new one-to-one clients. They'd never heard of me before, but just from reading that article, they reached out. We had a quick chat and they wanted to work with me. I was just moving over to the States at the time, so I was charging in dollars. And both of those one-to-one clients signed up for packages at $3,000 each. This was just unheard of for me at the time because before I'd been floundering. I had no clear sense of direction or focus. I would doubt myself a lot of the time, really finding it hard to create any kind of momentum or traction in my business. And this was the first time that I really tapped into what do I stand for? What is the change that I want to create in the world? And it was all about, like, for myself to live as an unbound woman, to unbind from all the like shiz that we're taught about who and how we should be, and holding space for other women to do the same in their businesses, in their work, in the way they express themselves, in the way they live. And this was before the focus on books and writing, actually, like things started to shift even before that. And it was the first time that I experienced my work as a movement. It was like I had this knowing that it was a movement, like the movement of the unbound woman becoming an unbound woman and treating it like that. And the way I wrote about it in that article really had that energy of it. So I moved from focusing on what I do, what I could help clients with in terms of modalities like hypnotherapy, coaching, EFT, like emotional freedom technique, to what I stand for. And that, as soon as I did that, it created this huge shift. It was so noticeable. What I was doing as I was responding to the call, because this had been bubbling. This had been bubbling for a couple of years, really, since I wrote my first book, Heal, You're in a Good Girl. And I wrote about the unbound self, but I hadn't really owned it. And writing this article, Seven Signs You're an Unbound Woman, really was really me owning it and saying, look, this is what I stand for. If you resonate with this, then come closer. And from that, community, there was already a little bit of community happening, but it really started to take form, really expanded the community. So when I got the opportunity to start the Unbound Press, which was like the following year, yeah, it felt like a risk. It was like I knew in my bones I was meant to do it, but it was like, oh, it still felt edgy. But I already knew that there was like an interest, like just having the word unbound in there. I knew people resonated with it. I knew I already had an audience, some kind of community. So it was easier to step in. I knew that there would be some authors, like aspiring authors, who would be interested in the opportunity to work with the Unbound Press. I knew I had people there already in my audience because I had been building this body of work all around the theme of Unbound. And it's so simple, really. But I wasn't just talking about like freedom in a generic sense. I got really specific. Like that word unbound speaks very specifically to a certain kind of freedom where something has previously been constrained. And so many women resonated with that. So building that body of work, knowing the change I wanted to create shifted everything. And this is what I want to hold space for you to do in the calling, because it may already be like the kind of movement that you want to create. You know what you stand for. You've been doing it already, but let's ramp that up. Let's amplify it. And if you're not quite sure, If you've been doing what I was doing, which was like, yeah, I can do hypnotherapy and offer coaching and EFT to help with all of these kind of issues, and being a bit half-hearted about it, not really wanting to commit to who I was here to work with, then I want to help you get like really clear on what you're here to do and who you're here to do it with in terms of clients. And this is not about ideal client avatars, but for me, knowing that I want to work with unbound or unbinding women, and not just writers, not just authors, although that's a big part of my work, that really helps me to speak to the women that I am here to hold space for. Because I still have people following me who aren't interested in writing a book, but they are interested in the idea of living in an unbound way. And maybe you're one of them, because the calling is not just for people who are writing a book, who've written a book, although it will work really well if that is the case. So what shifted for me was creating a movement, or just knowing that this was a movement, saying yes, like over and over again, to myself, to opportunities, like the opportunity to start the Unbound Press, like even when it felt scary, saying yes, keeping evolving and shifting, like trusting when I got the nudge to do something, like taking action on that and doing it in a way that feels aligned for me, like moving to my rhythm. If you're in the Unbound community, you'll know that I'm quite regularly changing things up in terms of offering and how we get to work together. And that's me trusting myself and knowing it's okay for me to have change, like evolution in my own business. It keeps things fresh and alive for me. And it also does that for my community. Showing my face, like showing up, like literally showing my face online, on social media, doing things like this, that makes a big difference. And obviously the community piece, like having a community to show up for really helps. So to give you a sense of the impact this has had, like, I know you're not just about the money. You really want to create an impact, create change in the world, but also you would like to be well paid. So let me just show you. I'm going to share my screen. Like revenue figures. Let me make this a bit bigger. Over kind of that period of time. Oh my goodness. Can I use a Google Doc? Yes, I can. I should put my glasses on. Okay. So I haven't got the figures for 2017, or I didn't have them immediately to hand, but this gives you a sense of the kind of growth. So probably 2017 would have been around maybe the 20, around that figure that it was for 2018. 2018 was like a really transitional year for me. I'd just started living in the States. I think 2017 was possibly a little bit higher than that. And then I had a bit of a dip in 2018. 2019 grew like relatively, that's quite a lot from 2018 to 2019. But then the big shift happened like 2020 from 30,500 to over 80,000 in 2020. And then that continued like 2021, going over six figures. 2022 was an exceptional year, had a little dip in 2023, but still in the six figures. And then 2024 has popped back up again. And, you know, the reason I'm showing you this is sustainable, but I am aiming to grow the revenue for the business considerably this year. I feel like we're ready for another, I don't know, maybe double up. Let's see. So that's what I'm aiming for this year. but it just shows you like it wasn't a one-off. Like there was continued growth, and the business continues to generate a really sustainable and thriving revenue. And it may not be that you're necessarily wanting to get to six figures, maybe you don't, but to create a really thriving and flourishing business, like creatively, for it to be fulfilling, for you to be making the impact and having an abundant income. That's what I want you to experience. Because too many soul-led entrepreneurs are not experiencing kind of bountiful business that I believe they deserve to have. And a lot of it is because you're not entirely clear, maybe, about what you're here to do. I think you probably are. It's there, but it's just allowing yourself to fully step into that. Maybe you've been playing on the edges. The calling is really designed to help you see your work, experience your work as a movement, to grow a vibrant community and craft really compelling offers that speak directly to your most soul aligned people. You won't do it the same way that I did it. We're all different. And again, the calling's really designed to support you to do it your way. I'm not interested in trying to force anybody to do it in a particular way. That is not the vibe. So let me just again share my screen and take you through the invitation to the calling. Like it's on a Google Doc. It is not fancy. Whenever I'm creating something new, I just want to get it down, get the invitation down, and let the people who are here to see it. So I talk a little bit about what you might have been experiencing, that quiet, insistent pull, the knowing you're here to create, lead, and share something that's uniquely yours, because there is something. And I talk here about allowing yourself to fully step in, the stories that can get in the way, and also I've been speaking about this a little bit as I'm recording this, we're in the early days of 2025, and it does feel like for a lot of us, like something has woken up this year, even though it can still feel scary, like there's a new confidence and clarity. So this can still be fear and doubt, and this is not about getting rid of fear and doubt, because they will often, if not always, be our companions on this journey. But we get to move anyway, because there's also this kind of, I've heard people say this, like, I'm done shrinking. I know what I'm here to do. There's that kind of energy that's pulling a lot of us forward right now, like this fierceness, a willingness to do it. And if you're feeling that, I would love to be by your side, because it really is like this is a mentoring partnership. So the calling is designed to do these things, to clarify and amplify your unique message so it cuts through the noise and connects deeply with the hearts of your people, like I did in that article back in 2017 and continue to do. Not all the time, not everything we put out there will do this and hit the mark. But the more we do, the more chance we have of connecting with our people. Design soul-aligned, profitable offerings that feel abundant, expansive, and joyful for you. It's really important. It feels good for you. And build and nurture a community that naturally magnetizes your dream clients without forcing or hustling. Not here for the hustle. I'm not saying like it's always going to feel easy and in flow. I'm not saying you'll always know exactly what your next step will be, but I'll be by your side and encouraging you to take bold, inspired action and learn to trust yourself like never before, because this is what happens. We get a hit to do something, like we feel really inspired and we think about taking the action and maybe we begin, but then we pull back. either before we've like fully taken the action, or we take a step, but then it feels scary, or maybe you're not immediately seeing the results that you wanted to see. So we step back again, and I want to be there, not like that pushing you, but really holding space for you to stay in that inspired action, keep taking the steps. So, this is for you if you're ready to lead a thriving transformational business that feels like home. You dream of building a community where your people feel held, inspired, and connected, and you get to be inspired by them too. Like I experience this in my business every single day. And you want your message to ripple out into the world with a new potency, making real lasting impact. So, what's included? I put here, this isn't just coaching, it's a partnership. It really is a sacred container for your soul-led action. And action is a key word there. No, it's not about navel gazing for a year. Like every single month, you will get a monthly breakthrough assignment, some kind of inspired action, like specific to you, designed to really create tangible progress in your business. And they're going to build on each other month by month. You get one 60-minute one-to-one Zoom call per month with me. So that's where we'll get together, we'll heartstorm the inspired action you're taking, we'll tune into your mindset and any embodiment shifts that will make the biggest difference for you in your business. That's when we come face to face. There are weekly check-ins. Every week I'll be checking in with you. Not in a, again, it's not in a kind of hustling, pushy way, but it's so easy for like weeks to go by and nothing's happened. It's just regularly checking in. It's okay, what is your intention for this week? Celebrating the wins, like every single win. Recalibration when you need it. Keeping that momentum alive. We still get to ebb and flow with staying in momentum. You get Voxer or WhatsApp support, whichever you prefer, Monday to Friday. So, whenever you have a question bubbling, you need some support, you can access that. Feedback on writing and messaging. So if you're writing social media posts, sales pages, or other copy for your business, you can pop it over to me, say, what do you think? Is there anything you change? And I'm on hand to offer feedback and suggestions. Love doing that for my clients. And as an introductory bonus, if you step into the calling by the end of this month, January 2025, you will get an in-person retreat day with me. So this is where we'll come together at some point during the year and we'll tune into when's the best time, and we'll spend a whole day diving into whatever your chosen intention is. Maybe you want to have a whole day on community building. Maybe you want to have a whole day like mapping out an offer or a launch that you want to do, or maybe there's an embodiment piece that you want to work on. Like we'll come together and really dive into that. And these days, they're usually held in either London or the New Forest, but sometimes we can arrange them in other places, including I'm going to be in New York in July, so possibly in the US as well. So most of the support in the calling is asynchronous. So you're free to follow your flow and access my guidance when it suits you. Like there aren't going to be a ton of calls, like booking up in your diary, but you get the daily support that you need. So I take you through the 12-month journey, what we're going to be covering over the 12 months. I won't go through all of that now. And this is fluid. Like I say here, we absolutely get to deviate from this as required. It's unbound. So the calling is designed to help you become your most powerful guide. If another focus steps forward in any particular months, we'll adapt and follow that. I want you to have a sense of the journey that we're going on and a clear focus every single month. If you are feeling the call to step in and really be the leader that you're here to be, I would love to hold space for you in the calling. You can see all the details on the invitation. There's the link to sign up as well. If you've got any questions at all, let me know.